Let's examine problem 5 for a kind of a weird question. This is an oddball question. It's just about the mechanics of voting for a board of directors. And I actually learned something here. It's a little bit funny, so I'll show you what I did and why it was wrong and what the right answer is as we go. Evergreen Creations will soon be running an election for 4 seats on its board of directors. The company has 100,000 shares outstanding. The share price is $20 a share. You like Susan Sampson, but she's extremely unpopular, so nobody else is voting for her except you. Assuming you own no stock today, how much will it cost you to get enough stock to buy the seat if the company uses straight voting? Assume no one else is going to vote for Susan Sampson. If the company uses cumulative voting. So there's 2 different types of voting that this introduces to us. Straight voting is the candidate comes up and people vote yes or no should they be on the board of directors. And if that's the type of vote it is, one at a time, you're electing the board of directors on sort of yes, no type of vote, you need more than 50%. Like it needs to pass with more than 50%. So you would need, for straight voting, 50% plus 1 share, right? More than 50%. So if there's 50% of 100,000 shares is 50,000 shares, you need 50,001 to have enough votes to say, okay, well, 49,999 can vote against her. I have enough votes to just win. So you need 50,001 shares at $20 a share. It's $1 million or something. 50,000. Oops, not 50,000. 50,001. Don't forget the 1 times 20. Yeah, $1,020,020 worth of stock. That would buy you the election under straight voting. So again, straight voting, 1 candidate at a time. If you have 51% of the shares, you can just dominate. You can just pick your candidates, pick your slate. You win because you have more than half the votes. Another way of electing a board is to protect minority shareholders. So people without 50% of the vote can get screwed here, right? And so they say, well, if I have 25% of the vote, shouldn't I be able to elect 25% of the board? Something like this. And so this is what cumulative voting is for, where you get 1 vote for the entire slate of candidates. And so if there are 4 seats coming up, you don't need half the votes. Now, this is where I got it wrong. And this is an interesting math puzzle. I thought, well, okay, 4 seats. I want to elect 1 person, Susan Sampson, so I'm going to need a quarter of the votes. I'll need 25%. This is not correct. The math is you go 1 over the number of candidates plus 1 to figure out how much you need. So in this case, 1 over 4 plus 1, it's 1 over 5. The correct answer here is 20%. And I was wrong about it. My intuition said, no, it's got to be 25%. So this is why I think this is an interesting question. Beyond this, it's a weird question, to be honest. But I think this is just intriguing. Why is it that there's only 4 board seats, but to get 1, I need 20% and then plus 1 vote, right? Same with 50% plus 1 vote. So I need 20% plus 1 vote. Well, let's contemplate this. So 20% of 100,000 is 20,000. So I would need 20,001 share times $20. That's 40,000 or $400,020 worth of stock. Okay, that's the answer to the question, right? We've solved the question. We need 20,001 shares. It's going to cost $20 a share. That's what we need to buy up to guarantee Susan Sampson gets her seat under cumulative voting. But why does it work this way? Well, let's sort of divide this up. Let's assume that each candidate wins with their bare minimum, which we've said is right around 20,000. So candidate number 1 gets 20. There's 5 candidates vying for 4 seats. So candidate number 1 gets 20,000 votes. Candidate number 2 gets 20,000 votes. Our preferred candidate 3 gets 20,000 votes. We vote 20,001 votes for Susan Sampson. And candidate number 4, because it adds up to 100, has to have 19,999. Well, you can see there, if I have 20,001, even if the votes just split perfectly evenly everywhere else, I'm guaranteed a spot with Susan Sampson. Now, if this person gets 30,000 and this person has 25, Well, all of a sudden, Susan Sampson's for sure going to be at least fourth place with 20,001. The worst you can do is fourth place. And look, we're electing 4 seats. So my intuition about 25% was just totally wrong. You need this N+1. Susan Sampson, to get on the board, needs just 1 vote more than 20%. There's no way it just guarantees her a seat, even if the voting goes terribly. And again, if you had 20% plus 1, you would guarantee yourself a seat on this board of directors. So you could buy the seat for $400,000 and $20 to get over the 1. So that's the worst case scenario for her is everybody splits the vote at 20, 20, 20, and even still, if everybody's splitting the vote right around 20, her having 20,001 gets her in. Nobody's going to beat her. Okay, kind of an interesting question. I think the math of it's interesting. We've solved the problem. Thanks for watching. It's a weird problem. Have a great day. Bye-bye.